Hey friends, welcome back to another video. So today we're making some Christmas cottages, which is so exciting. Something like this. So they're my normal kurinuki cottages, and this one is a celestial one. So the theme of the Christmas collection is going to be all celestial themed. So lots of moon, stars, planets, galaxies, that kind of thing, which I think will be really fun for Christmas. Especially I'm going to add lots of luster, and we're also going to do some raku fire rings as well. So I have some really beautiful metallic glazes for that as well, so it kind of all blends into that theme. And what I'm making this week are these little Christmas cottages. So they have like a ribbon coming out the top and then a little light inside, and they start off as a block of clay, and then I'm going to show you how I make them by carving away all that clay. And yeah, I actually have one finished that I was trialing some glazes out, so they will end up looking something like this. So this is a bit closer, there we go. So this is with some gold luster, so you can see like the kind of carvings, and then all of the luster decoration as well. And then this one has platinum luster, which looks really pretty. So these are actually snowflake ones, but I'm going to be carving more moon and stars on. So these are the ones that I've already done. I've started hollowing all of these out today, so these are hollowed and drying out, ready to carve tomorrow. And up there are some raku cottages. I'll get them down. So these are some of the raku cottages we've already fired, testing out some glazes. So this one is my favourite. These are all spectrum raku glazes actually, so this one is really pretty, and I love this one as well. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some raku firings as well of some of these cottages. Actually, these are the ones that I'm going to be raku firing, so I actually leave them plain, and for these I've cut out a moon and a star on the side as well. And I find keeping these ones plain the best, just because the glazes are so variable that it might look a bit much. So I did a bit of a test with some gingerbread style houses at the back, and I just thought it looked a bit too much going on with the decoration. This is a really pretty crackle glaze. So yeah, these ones are going to be glazed and raku fired. So I have one left that I'm going to do now. So this one is about 1 kg of clay, this is, and I've shaped it into a block and then slanted in that roof using one of these paddles. So I'm just going to reintroduce that shape. When I did them, they were a little bit wet, so the shape isn't very crisp. So I quite like to redo the shape with the paddle again once the clay's dried out. So this has been shaped, and then I let them dry out overnight. Something like that. And then I use this tool. It's a teardrop tool. I'll link everything down below, to carve the walls. So I want to get that overhang of the roof, so I quite like to carve that roof in. So I kind of use this tool and cut in underneath that roof, just making sure you don't go too deep with it. And then I just use my finger just to join all of that up, taking out the corners as I go, like that. And then now I'm going to carve away that excess into the wall. So now we've got an overhang there and a smooth wall, so I'm just going to go and do that on all of the sides, and then just flatten that base down. And now I smooth over and really shape those walls. So bringing my finger down, smoothing over that wall, and then I like to just square off those corners just by smoothing them down over the corner with each finger. with the finger on each side. So you really square those corners off. Then I'm going to flip it upside down, and then again use that paddle just to tap in that bottom, just so it's a nice square. Okay, so hopefully you can see the top. So I'm going to carve the inside out using one of these pointed loop tools. Start to cut in, and then just follow that wall, being careful not to cut too much into that corner, leaving about 1 centimetre, something like that, in the wall, like that. And then I just take that excess out the middle as well. And then I'm going to do probably another layer with this more pointed tool, and then switch to a straighter tool. So this one is more straight. So I've dug out a lot of that, so now I'm going to go back and dig in some more. Taking strips of clay out, something like that, layer by layer, going down to the roof. And those walls can be a little bit messy, so I also like to take the tool up the wall just to even out those lumpy bits on the wall. So you can see they're a little bit smoother now. And then I'm going to take layer by layer the clay out until I reach kind of into that roof area, and then I just switch to using the other end of the tool. So just taking the tool up now just to again clean up those sides. Now we're, sorry it's a bit tricky to see, but now we're like pretty much into that roof bit. And now I'm going to switch to that curved end. And I'm going to dig it out, like imagining it's kind of a bowl or the bottom of a cup, just curving that bottom part in, just so that you're kind of trying to match the roof on the inside. So it's a bit tricky to see, but on like where the bottom is, I'm curving that in, kind of imagine like an inside of a bowl, so that you're getting that curve of the roof. And then once I'm happy with that, so that's that hollowed out now, and now I like to add the chimney. So I grab a little bit of soft clay, so clay straight out of the bag, get a little bit of a ball there, and then I shape it into a chimney, kind of place it on top. I'm kind of happy with that. Then I dip it in water, dip that bottom bit in water, and then push it down on the top. Just make sure you can't move it anymore, it has a good seal to the house. And then I just smooth over the edges with my finger and get a sponge, smooth that chimney over, and then just reshape that. This is going to be carved tomorrow, so I just make sure that the placement is right. I don't care too much about the shape. So now I'm just making the hole by pushing in, well, this is the end of a carving tool, but you can use a pencil, anything really, just to stick through the clay. So you then make the hole in the chimney. So there's a through hole there. And that's it. So that's the hollowing done. And I leave these to dry overnight, and I'll come back and show you me carving and decorating them. So this one's been drying overnight, and today is the perfect consistency to carve. So it's dried out, which means we can take a lot of that excess clay out from the middle and carve in the windows and doors and the roof tiles and everything. So I first start by just sponging over the walls, just so that they're nice and smooth, especially if I want to decorate this with underglaze. So I'm doing a whole mixture of decoration for these celestial cottages, and I'll probably show you some of them that I decorate, but I'll definitely show you them all at the end so you can kind of get an idea of how they're going to look. And then also just the bottom. And then you just want to tap that down just to make sure the bottom is flat. And then you can also again use that paddle just to smooth over any lumps if there are. Sometimes I get a lump in the middle or even on the corners, just to smooth those over. kind of making sure it's square underneath, and then again tapping that down. And then I use a scalpel just so I can cut into the bottom, so like that. Hopefully you can see, maybe if I do like this, yeah, so this scalpel I'm just going to use to trim that bottom part. So just taking, kind of just leaving a very thin wall of clay just helps me to guide my actual carving, just to make sure that bottom isn't too bulky. Just being careful going around those corners. Rotating the cottage around the corner, going up the wall. Just making sure I'm taking a lot of that clay out the base. So it's something like that. So then I get this carving tool, smaller end and bigger end. The bigger end I like to use for doing the walls, and then I switch to the smaller side for the corners. So using that bigger side just to take some of the excess out of the wall. Along the bottom I try to go horizontal, just so I don't end up taking a chunk out the wall by accident, but then I go along that inside wall, smoothing all that out, removing any lumps and bumps, but in the process I'm making it much thinner. So you can kind of see there. And then I also take that into the roof, so cutting some of the excess clay out of the roof as well. You don't want to make the roof too thin because I'm going to cut some roof tiles, but a lot of that weight actually sits in that top part, so you really want to try to remove some more clay from there. So that's kind of one surface done there, and now I'm going to switch to that smaller tool just to run it up the corner. That really gets into the corner because that's a bit of a pesky area. It's really hard to get into that corner, so really getting into that corner. And now I'm going to do the next side. And I really like to hold the cottage with my hand on the outside. I find it helps with when I'm making those walls thinner, that I can feel if they're getting too thin. If you just popped that down and was carving like this, you wouldn't get a sense of that. So I always hold it so I know if there's an area that's getting too thin, I can ease off the carving, and it gives you less chance to make a hole. If you do make a hole, no worries, you can just fill it up with clay if it's just a little one. If it's a big one, it probably will crack depending on the type of clay you're using, but if it's just like a little hole or a little crack where you've made it a bit too thin, just get some soft clay and patch it up. So that's those two walls down, so I'm just going to speed through the rest. So that's the inside all carved out. It's much lighter now. So now I'm just going to get a sponge and just smooth over the bottom and the inside. So that's that all nicely sponged, and then I'm just going to reshape those walls just in case they've moved a bit while I've been carving. And again, just do a little bit of a tap just to make sure that's kind of nice and flat at the bottom. So now I'm just going to smooth over that chimney, the inside surface, with my finger. And I am going to use, this is a P2 diamond core tool to carve in those roof tiles. So just going around the chimney, making that a lot thinner. There we go, roof done. Looks so cute. Yeah, this is my favourite diamond core tool for the roof tires. So I first spin it around and decide which is the front. I think this is nicest for the front. So this is where the door is going to be. So I'm going to cut the door out. So I quite like to have an arch in my door, so I'm just going to cut around. with my scalpel, cut the bottom out, and then I just go around the edge with my scalpel again, just making that really nice and neat. Something like that. So just feel free just to go around those edges to make them just nice and neat. Something like that. And then for my window, I like to have a cross window. So sticking the scalpel in, kind of all the way, I find gives you a nice window. There we go, something like that. And then I'm going to do the same for the back. There we go, and then I just get a sponge and I'm just going to go over those markings again on the other side. Just smooths over, and then the inside as well. And don't worry if there's little bits inside like this. I usually just leave them and knock them off at the bisque stage. So that's one side, other side. So now I leave this to dry out a little bit, and I'm going to do some underglaze decorations, some carving. So I'm decorating now with underglaze. I've put on a layer of underglaze for the background. It is, which one is this? Yeah, it's this colour. So it's, I'll leave them all linked down below, but this is Chrysanthos Lavender underglaze, and it will come out this colour. And now I'm painting on this design. So I'll show you the design, all the designs at the end, but this is going to be kind of a celestial moons and stars in the sky, so it will look something like this once it's finished. So maybe I'll just go through the underglazes just so you know. So I have Speedball White underglaze, Amico Nectar, Spectrum Honey. This is one I made up by adding this nano purple stain to white underglaze at 10%. And then this is Royal Blue from Amico, and then this one is Malibu from Carve. So I'm first going to paint on the moon in the purple underglaze. I quite like using this kind of long brush to do this, but I find the shape a little bit tricky, so I kind of just try to imagine where it's going to go. And then just curling it around. And I normally just do one layer of underglaze, but I do one thick layer. So I always test the underglaze before I use them to see the colour and how thick I need to do it. So this one, there's no difference between 1 and 2 layers. So I've got, here's 2 layers and that's 1 layer, but you can see there's not really any difference. So I always pick underglazes that you can kind of get away with just doing one kind of generous layer. Malibu blue colour for the clouds. So I quite like using this kind of rounded brush for that. I kind of just do dabs just to get that kind of cloud fluffiness, and then I add a bit of interest by adding a white underglaze as well to just go over that, and I'm hoping that it'll kind of go like a nice pastel blue colour. And then now I'm going to draw on all of the stars. First start with that nectar, which is a kind of a bright orangey colour. Just going to do some stars, and then I like to do some dotties, kind of like twinkly sky. And then I change to the what is this, honey one. So it's just basically like kind of a deeper browny yellow, just to add a bit of earthiness. And I just like to highlight the moon, and then I'm gonna kind of outline those clouds too. So that's the underglaze painted, and I just let that dry, and I'll show you how I carve them. So for the carving, I like to use the FP2 diamond core tool. So it has a kind of a very thin point. So yeah, this one I've done all of the sides already and it's dried out. So I quite like to vary the design quite a lot. Oh, there's a little bit of wetness here, but should be okay. So again, I'll just show you me carving the front. So for this one, I kind of wanted to do these, I don't know what you call these, like carving lines. I was looking at lots of celestial images and those kind of really old, almost like tarot cards, those kind of designs had a lot of sketching like this. So I thought it would be nice to add some texture with some lines going through the clouds and the moon. It kind of also looks a little bit like sun rays or just like rays in the sky, so I think that looked cute. And then I'm also just adding some carved stars as well. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish all of these. I'll just show you some of the other designs I have. So I have a bit of a woodland design. So again, stars and some moons, and I've got some little acorns and pine cones and leaves. And then this one is a moonflower, so this only blooms at night, which I thought was fitting for the Celestial collection. And this is on a black background, and I've put some porcelain slip and some green coloured porcelain slip as well. So I'm excited to see how those turn out. So today's glazing day, and I'm glazing the Christmas cottages. So these are the ones I've been decorating. So this is the woodland. These ones are moonflowers, and I think I showed you this. I decorated this one. It's just some moons and clouds and some stars. And then I also have these ones which I'm going to glaze the walls and the roof and do a lot of luster on these ones. These ones I'm just going to glaze the roof and leave the underglaze matte. And I've just been picking out some glazes, so I think I'm going to do one set sunset on top, white on the bottom, opal, and then cobalt, and then this is a seaweed green colour, which is really pretty. And then this is a new glaze, actually. This is really pretty. It's, let me think, I think I'll get it over there. It's this one. I've been trying out a lot of new glazes just from, like, we usually make our own glazes, but just for the Christmas collection I wanted some new colours quickly, so I'm kind of buying a lot of commercial ones, and this one is really pretty. It's called Shallot from Spectrum, and it's their floating glaze. Yeah, so I'm going to get on and glaze these, and I'll show you them once glazed. So with the commercial ones, they're all brush on, so I'm just going to brush on the glaze on the roof. And then the ones I have made myself, I literally just dip the bottom, dip the top. It's really easy to glaze the cottages. And then the bottom I just sponge off because it's such a tiny kind of bit that touches the kiln shelf. I just literally sponge that off and it's really quick. Here are all the cottages all glazed up. So this one I kind of overlapped a sunset glaze with a white glaze, and I'm hoping it will kind of run. I think where it overlaps it will go this kind of milky colour. A blue cobalt roof. This one is a pink, that shallot I showed you. This is a gold, and then I have a bit of a, oh yeah, under here I have, this is a kind of a seaweed green, and this is a sunset, and then this is a white. So a whole mix of colours, but I'm hoping they all kind of all go together quite well. So these are going to go in the kiln tomorrow, and I'll show you them once they're all finished. So I've just loaded the kiln, and I just want to show you all the little bits. So these are the little Christmas cottages I was decorating. Some really pretty moon and stars, and then this one is a pink glazed roof. This is actually from Spectrum. It's a floating underglaze called Shallot, and this one is really pretty, kind of a woodland theme. And this one is a seaweed roof. Yeah, let me know if you want the recipes, but this is a one I make myself. And then this one is the moonflower, so background with the white porcelain on top. I really like the kind of variation in the thickness. And yeah, this is white on top. And then yeah, I also did one with a kind of a gold, antique gold glaze, which I think also lends itself to the black background quite nicely. And I also, yeah, have that one with a blue, cobalt blue glaze on the top. And then these are just some mushroom ideas I had. So the idea is that kind of you put like a light or an incense cone underneath and it kind of shines, or the smoke comes through the holes. And this is a one that doesn't have like a opening on it. It's just a plain bottom. And yeah, so, oh yeah, this is a kind of lighthouse as well. And I'll show you the other pieces. I did luster them already, so they're going to go into the kiln for a luster firing, but I just kind of wanted to show you so you kind of get an idea of just of the other pieces. But I think I will do another video on the Celestial collection for Christmas, because I'm going to be doing another shop update in December. So a lot of these pieces, they might have already been sold, but I'm going to like kind of replenish the collection for December, and that shop will be going live on the 1st of December, so just in case you have your eye on anything. So yeah, there's a lot of different pieces. So yeah, these have been lustered, so I kind of have to be a bit careful. I don't want to touch it, but they should be dry. I'm going to load them in the kiln now. So this is a Celestial Cottage and this is a copper luster, so you can see where the brown, that brown design is all going to be copper. And then this really pretty porcelain cottage with mushrooms and moons on it. And then this is a kind of bigger version of that, again with the copper luster. And then yeah, this is the hot air balloon I've been trialing, and the glaze did stick ever so slightly, it kind of. So yeah, the glaze did go over the join in some parts, but I love actually how it looks, and I'm going to luster a lot of it. So yeah, I'll put the roof on. Yeah, there we go. So that's the roof on, and there's a little dish for oils or wax melts. But yeah, the glaze kind of got caught a little bit. Can you see there, here, just where those points are? It kind of, you can see it snapped off when I took the top off. So I think I might have to adjust the design slightly, or make sure there's more of a, where the glaze is joining. I'm going to make sure I sponge off quite a lot of that. And then yeah, so this is also that moon jar. So this was a little bit more successful. I think this white glaze is just a bit more runny than I thought it would be. So it kind of did run a little bit, but I think because of the shape of this join, it doesn't like pull like this one does with the kind of the joins. The join is like sticking up, so whereas this is a bit more fluid, and I think I did rub off quite a lot here. So that's turned out really pretty. And then yes, so just some more Christmas cottages. This one is like, yeah, blue stars, blue moon and stars. And this one again, blue and opal glazes. So this one is going to have platinum luster. And then yeah, I've lustered a bit on this design as well. And then again, this is going to be gold or copper, I'm not 100% sure. And then, oh yeah, this one's cool. This is a new design. I kind of wanted to have like shooting stars. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm just going to load all of these pieces in the kiln now. And yeah, the next video, I think I'll show you a little bit more in depth about the Celestial collection. So I'm hoping to make some more lighthouses. That hot air balloon I think will be really, really pretty. I'm excited to do like lots of different colours. So I'd like to just adapt the design a little bit just to make sure that that roof or like the top of the hot air balloon comes off easier. And then yeah, then I've got like some mugs and lots of other cottages to make that I didn't include in this shop update. So this one I made like a little bit of a mini collection which include really a lot of the Christmas cottages, so people can kind of get them early. And then my next one is going to be more of just a mixture of everything, so I think that'll be more interesting for you to kind of see the whole collection, whereas this is more like of an in-depth how I make the Christmas cottages in case you were wanting to make some of your own. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, I did actually have a little bit of a glaze test for the collection, so if you aren't into making your own glazes but wanted to buy some commercial glazes, these ones I was really impressed with, so I might just quickly show you that. So yeah, these are the Spectrum, let me see, yeah, this is one of them, Spectrum floating glazes. And then I'll share the names with you, and I'll link them down below. There's a lot of like especially pinks and yellows that I find quite tricky to get some really nice glazes by mixing them myself, and I wanted to include some new glazes for the upcoming collection, and I knew I would have no time to actually kind of make and test my own, so I tried out some commercial ones and I was so impressed with these glazes. So this one is papaya. They're all, most of them are the Spectrum floating glazes, so yeah, I'll just tell you the names. But this is on my lava fleck clay, flecked stoneware and porcelain, so you can kind of see the difference. So pretty on this, and I've done 1 layer and 2 layers, same. Some of them you don't really see, but I think it's just more of that milky lighter colour where it's thicker. And then this one is Tiger Eye. So this one came out really pretty as well. Is kind of like a, yeah, like an ochre colour, an orangey ochre. And then it comes out a little bit brighter on the lighter clays. And then this one is, yeah, a bit more of a yellow, quite similar. So this one is called Curry. So this is quite similar to that Tiger's Eye curry but it's yeah, I would say a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter, and you can kind of see the difference a bit better on these. Yeah, and then this one is also so pretty. Look how nice, such a beautiful pink. This one is called Sunrise. So yeah, they look a little bit different on the website, but I have used my firing schedule, and I'm sure they recommend a slightly different one, but I'm not going to change my firing schedule for different glazes, so I wanted to see how they would work in my schedule. This one, I think yeah, this is the Charlotte that I shared before, and yeah, and then these are just some other ones as well, but they're not the floating ones. But I love how all of these came out, so I think I might order a few more. And they're just good for giving a little bit of variety, especially for more of those like Christmassy, a bit one-off pieces that I want to just feel like a little bit special. But yeah, I love this one. So pretty. Very cute, peachy orange. How cute would that be for summer? So I thought you might be interested in those glazes, but yeah, so that's it for this video. Like I said, the next one will probably be more of a Christmas collection, Christmas Celestial collection video for my last kiln opening of the year, so on the 1st of December. I'll leave all the info down below in case you want to have a little nosy at the shop. And then it's on to next year, so this year is just like flying by. So yeah, I'm excited next year to do some more videos, probably trying to still keep up with the collections video, because I'm really liking how the themed collections are going this year, which I will definitely do next year too. And then I will think about including maybe some more tutorial types of videos. So that's it, until next time, bye.